Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all three of you for being here and for your service. As always, first of all, I do want to join Senator Fisher in thanking the Air Force for maintaining the nuclear deterrent, keeping it on track, on target, on all of that's fantastic, and thank you all for doing that. I want to talk a little bit at first about the radar station, the Parks radar station at Cavalier, and I sort of chuckle when I look at the three of you because all three of you have visited North Dakota in your capacity in the wintertime, and that's special. Particularly special, Mr. Secretary, was your visit to Minot right before Christmas, and thank you for that. But I have to say, General Raymond visited Cavalier on a day when it was 41 degrees below. That would be zero, for those of you who don't know what below means, below zero wind chill. And so he knows a little something about how remote and how difficult an environment that is. But that radar is 50 years old, the Parks radar. And I'm concerned a little bit because this year's budget documents say that the radar has, quote, a high risk that equipment failures will cause unacceptable mission downtime. And I believe that last year's budget had some similar language to it. And so my staff took a briefing recently from the program office that said they're planning for a digital upgrade that would, quote, drastically increase detection time, accuracy, and contributions to both missile warning and space domain awareness missions, unquote. And you've all talked about the importance of a lot of that. But I don't see the funding for it in this budget. So I don't, maybe start with you, General Raymond. You're obviously aware of the precarious situation, Cavalier. I know you're going to visit there again. What do you think? Do we need to upgrade?
Sir, we continue that. First of all, missile warning, missile tracking, and space domain awareness are critical missions.
Yep.
And Cavalier and the radar at Cavalier, the Parks radar, is a very important radar. We have upgraded that throughout the years. We spend about $22 million a year sustaining that, operating and sustaining that capability. The priority for this year's budget was the space missile warning segment because we have to get after being able to detect and track hypersonics. As you mentioned, the program office right now is looking at a analog to digital modernization effort, and we'll address that in the coming budget years.
Great. Mr. Secretary, anything you'd want to add to that? Or?
No, I think General Raymond covered it pretty well.
Beautiful. Thank you. General Brown, you and I and others have had very frank discussions, of course, about ISR and the ISR retirements and the trade-offs. There's been a lot of discussion already today, again, about how to balance all of that, and I appreciate that. Some of us, of course, had doubts about the retirement of the RQ-4, Global Hawk, because Air Force ISR capacity really wasn't keeping up, at least with what many of the COCOMs would like, whether they need them all or not, but it seems like they could always use more. But we allowed, we ultimately agreed, and I think based on your wisdom and your counsel to trade some capacity for new capabilities. But this year's budget is cutting even more Air Force ISR, and even though the COCOMs are relaying in their hearings that they need more. And I'm also hearing that you're looking at cutting some of the manpower, including about up to maybe 30% at Grand Forks. Again, haven't confirmed that, but we're hearing that. And I just want to get a sense of your vision and end goal in this transition.
Sure. Well, first of all, I appreciate your support. I know we've had a chance to engage on this particular topic a number of times. There is no intent to cut any manpower at Grand Forks, so hopefully that'll put you a bit at ease.
It does.
One of the areas I would highlight, though, is as we look at the ISR that we have today versus the ISR that we need for the future, the ISR in the future needs to be connected, persistent, and survivable. Persistence we do have, connected and survivable not so much. And I look forward to maybe talking a bit more when we go to our closed session. I can get a little bit more detail on the capabilities that we're pursuing, and this is something that I think will help us along the way. I would also offer the fact that how we get information today, not only from our classified systems, but also from our open source, plays a key role in how we bring all the information together. And this is where advanced battle management system and some of the other tools that help us with decision superiority will actually add to cover some of the ISR from a different perspective as we look at how the character of war has changed.
Appreciate that. Appreciate all of you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.